Okay, good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about bacteria. What are the general characteristics of bacteria, their reproduction, and bacterial plant pathogen and their general characteristics. Okay, so first is bacteria are the second most important organism which cause plant diseases. Like firstly, there are the fungus or the fungi, which basically cause the disease in plant, and we can say that viruses also, and after that the bacteria. So they are prokaryotic, single cell, mostly achlorophyllous. Achlorophyllous, that means there is the absence of the chlorophyll. Okay. So chlorophyll is not there in bacteria. A chlorophyllous organism whose body is surrounded by cell wall and the nuclear membrane is not surrounded by the membrane. That means the bacteria, those have a cell wall, but if we are going to talk about the nuclear material, then it will be not surrounded by membrane because the bacteria are sorry, like there will be found only a single cell, so their complete body which will be covered by the cell wall, but their nuclear material which is not surrounded by membrane. Okay. So they lack membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, plastid, and also a visible endoplasmic reticulum. Like these all organelles, those have membrane. Okay, like if we talk about the multicellular organism, then these organelles like mitochondria, plastid, endoplasmic reticulum, these all are always membrane bound. Okay, but in the bacteria, basically these organelles will be also visible, and they will be lack of these organelles. Okay, like in bacteria, these will be, and they will be lack the membrane bound organelles, and we can say that like mitochondria, plastid, and endoplasmic reticulum is absent in bacteria. Okay. So most of the bacterial species are saprophytes living on dead organic matter. Like already we use the word saprophytes. Sapro, that means those can feed on the dead decaying matter. Okay, that's why we are saying that the bacteria are the saprophytes living on dead organic matter, and there are about 200 bacterial species which are plant pathogenic. Plant pathogenic, that means those can cause the disease in the plants. Morphologically, the bacteria are rod shaped. Okay, rod shape. So if any bacteria, those having the shape like the rod, then they all will be called bacilli. Are you getting? If the bacterial shape is the rod shape, then they all will be commonly called bacilli, or like the perfects, we will use the bacilli if the bacteria or bacterial shape is the rod shape. Spherical, that means we have to use the cocci at the end of the name of the bacteria. Spiral, then we use the word spirally. Comma shape, then we can say that vibrios, and thread like, then it will be called filamentous. Okay, so on the basis of their shape, basically like the bacilli, cocci, spirally, etc., these all are the suffix which will be written at the end of the name of the bacteria. Then the Streptomyces has a filamentous branched hypha-like structure, sometimes mistakenly called as ray fungi. And mycoplasma have no definite shape due to the lack of cell wall. Because if the cell wall is not there, then the organism those don't have the a particular structure. Okay. So in young cultures, the rod-shaped bacteria range from 0.6 to 3.5 micrometer, and we can denote like mu m. Okay. So that is the 0.6 to 3.5 in length, and from 0.5 to 1 mu m in diameter. So their diameter will be 0.6 to 3.5 into 0.5 to 1 mu size. Single bacterium mostly appears as hyaline or yellowish white under the compound microscope. So when grown on a medium, soon a colony is formed. So the colonies of most of bacteria have a whitish or grayish appearance, but some of them develop yellow, red, other colors. So bacterial structure, like a bacterium has a thin, relatively tough, rigid cell wall and a distinct three-layer but thin cytoplasmic membrane. Like we already talked about that the bacteria have cell wall. Okay, cell wall will be there, but the membrane bound organelles will be absent. Okay, and their nuclear material, which will be also lack of their uh, cell organelles. So most bacteria have a slime layer which made up of viscous gummy material. So slime layer has bacterial immunological property. When the layer is the thick and firm, then it will be called the capsule. So generally, the plant pathogenic bacteria, those lack capsule, but some of them like Pseudomonas and Xanthomonas produce slime. So slime layer is mostly composed of polysaccharide, but may rarely contain like amino sugars, sugar acid, etc. After that, flagella. Flagella, most of the plant pathogenic bacteria have delicate the thread-like flagella, which are usually longer than the cell, and they are the organs of locomotion. You all knows about very well about the flagella. Flagella by which the bacteria can move. Okay, and the flagella basically organs of the locomotion. If any pathogen or bacteria etc, if those have the flagella, That means they can move from one place to another place. Okay, like we have feet, so from the medium of the feet we can move from one place to another place. So like that in microbes, basically they also have different types of organs. But if the flagella is there, that means by the flagella the microbes which can move. That's why we are saying that like these are the locomotion organs. So the arrangement of flagella on bacterial cell is an important taxonomy character that aid in bacterial classification. So the flagella is most important thing. So this arrangement may be maybe they are monotrichous. Monotrichous, that means with one polar flagellum. Lophotrichous, that means tuft of flagella at one end, and amphitrichous, both have the ends. Okay, like monotrichous, that means only the flagella which will be present in a single side. Okay, then lophotrichous, then it will be only present at the one end, and amphitrichous, the flagella will be present on the both side. Okay, then peritrichous, so distributed all around the cell or surface. Atrichous bacteria lacking flagella. Gram-standing bacterial species are often distinguished from one another by gram-standing. So, in this process, a bacterial smear is heat fixed on a glass side, then stained with the crystal violet and moderated with iodine, and finally rinsed with the ethanol. Okay, so when the bacteria retain the crystal violet strain after the raising, so when the bacteria retain the crystal violet strain after rinsing, the bacteria are called gram positive, and those which do not restrain at the strain, these are the called gram negative. So the later are then counter strain with pink color safranin. The ability of bacteria to retain the crystal violet strain or not. So it is depends upon fundamentals of structure of cell wall. That means how we can say that like the bacteria are gram positive or gram negative. Okay, so for this we have to done a test that is called, so gram positive bacteria and the gram negative bacteria. So what are the difference between them? Like first is the cell wall is thicker and homogeneous. In gram-negative bacteria, the cell wall is thinner and usually thin layered. Gram-positive bacteria that contains lower contents of lipid, like the lipid content will be low in gram-positive bacteria, and that will be 5 to 10%. Or in gram negative bacteria basically contains higher content of lipid, more than 40%. Okay, so in gram negative the lipid will be more, and the gram positive in which the lipids quantity will be less. So peptidoglycan, which comprises up to 80% of the cell wall and hence maximum lipid. So in gram-positive bacteria, the teichoic acid is present, or in gram-negative, the teichoic is absent. So in gram-positive, the cell wall has higher amino sugars, those contain 10 to 20%. Then in gram-negative bacteria, the teichoic acid is absent. Then in gram-positive, the cell wall is simple. The cell wall is simple in shape and is a single layer. And the gram-negative, low content of amino acids, varying cell wall shape and and is triparate. That means three layer will be there. If three layers are found, then it will be called triparate. So in gram-positive bacteria, the mesosomes are prominent, and in gram-negative, no mesosome. In gram-positive, like retains violet dye, and the gram-negative bacteria's example is like Erwinia, Pseudomonas, Xanthomonas, Agrobacterium, or Xylella. So these all are the gram-negative bacteria, and the gram-positive examples are like Bacillus, Clavibacter, and their symptoms. After that, the bacterial cell structure. The bacterial cell, which is surrounded by a cell wall, and the cell wall is composed of peptidoglycan, which consisting of amino acid, like peptidoglycan, which consisting of chain of altering, like N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine unit, which cross-linked by tetrapeptide and pentaglycines. So the cell wall allows the inward masses of nutrients, and the outward passes to vast matter and digestive enzymes. So all the material, those inside the cell wall, which constitutes the protoplast, a protoplast, a protoplast which consists of a cytoplasmic permeability of various substances into and out of the cell. So the cytoplasmic membrane of cell, those of eukaryotes, but also contain respiratory and other xylems located in the bacteria. Then the cytoplasm, which is a complex mixture of proteins, lipids, carbohydrate, and other organic compound and minerals are water. Like these all are the present in a bacteria. So the nuclear material, which is consist of large circular chromosome composed of DNA. So the chromosomal DNA, which makes up the main body of genetic material of the bacterium and appearance of So the chromosomal DNA makes up the main body of genetic material of the bacterium and appears as a spherical, ellipsoidal, dumbbell, Y-shaped body in the cytoplasm but without any membrane. Like in bacteria, the cell organelles will be absent, and we can say that like membrane bound cell organelles are absent, but in bacteria, cell wall is present. So, such nuclear material does not show meiosis and mitosis. Some species also have additionally single or multiple pores or multiple copies of smaller circular genetic material called, and that will be called the plasmid. Have you heard about plasmid? सुना है तुम लोगों ने प्लाज्मिड? जब भी हम लोग बैक्टीरियोफाज की बात करते हैं तब वहाँ पे प्लाज्मिड वर्ड यूज होता है. बैक्टीरियोफाज पढ़ा होगा. Okay then. Plasmid can move from one bacterium to another bacterium. So by which the bacteria, those will be transfer their genetic material from one to another. Okay, and even from the bacterium to plant. So some species also have additionally single or multiple copies So some species also have additionally single or multiple copies of smaller circular genetic material that is called the plasmid. Okay, and whenever the plasmid will be moved, then the genetic material will be also moved. So the plasmids can move from one bacterium to another and even from the bacterium to plant, as in crown gall disease. So this special property is being utilized with much success in genetic engineering for transformation of some desired gene one plant to another by using its vector. So these all are the general characteristics of uh, bacteria. After that, flagella. So flagella in bacteria, flagella are the organs of locomotion, like for the movement. They are very delicate and fragile, and cultures are to be handled carefully for their staining. So the flagella vary from 10 to 12 nanometer in width, with the smaller than wavelength of light, therefore cannot be seen by ordinary staining. Mordants like potassium sulfate and mercury chloride are potassium sulfate and mercury chloride are generally participated on flagella, making the width more for making them visible and the light microscope. That means potassium sulfate and mercury chloride, those are helpful for the growth of the flagella. Like parts of flagellum. So first is filament. So it is the outermost region of flagella and is helical, composed of flagellin with a molecular weight, and that is 30,000 to 40,000, and it is synthesized in the cell, which moves to hollow core of the flagellum to the tip. Like in flagella, flagellum is also present. Okay. So flagellin is a protein with 14 amino acids and is characterized by higher content of aromatic amino acids and absence of cysteine in many cases. Just tell me how many amino acids are there, total amino acids. So flagellin, that means it is a protein which is basically found in the flagella. Okay. So the bacteria and the flagella, basically it's have minimum 13 minimum 14 amino acid will be there, and basically we consider that there are total amino acid is 20, but the amino acids are 22. Two amino acids are also detected, but in general way we just say that there are total 20 amino acids. Okay. Then the hook filament is attached to hook which is wider than the flagellum. हुक क्या होता है, जो कि फिलामेंट को, या फिर जो फ्लैजिला है, फ्लैजिला का जो फिलामेंट होता है या फिर हम कह सकते हैं जो फ्लैजिलम की सबसे जो आउटर स्ट्रक्चर होती है उससे अटैच होने में हेल्प करता है. So the filament is attached to hook which is wider than the flagellum. This is 45 nanometer wide and made of different types of proteins. So the hook of gram positive bacterium is longer and than that of gram negative bacteria. Okay. After that, basal body. Right now we are talking about the parts of the flagella. पहले हमने फ्लैजिला के बारे में बताया, फिर आता है पार्ट्स ऑफ द फ्लैजिला. So in which, like, first was the filament, then hook, and the enzyme is the flagellin, and fourth thing is the basal body. So the third part called basal body consists of a small central rod which is inserted into a system of ring. So the gram positive and the gram negative bacteria are different in the number of rings. So the inner pairs of rings are embedded into cell membrane and are formed in cell membrane and formed in both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. So L and P rings are formed only in gram negative bacteria, and S and M rings are important for movement of flagella. Okay. After that, pili. So in some bacteria, small hair-like structures are also present, which are called the pili. Okay. Like the flagella are the long in the size, and the in some bacteria, small hair-like structure which is called the pili. So these are shorter than the flagella and are thicker. That means it will be 3 to 15 nanometer in diameter. So the term fimbriae is sometimes also used for pili, but the term pili is reserved for those which are involved in conjugation. Conjugation, that is a type of reproduction in bacteria. So they are made up of protein subunit, that is pillin, of molecular weight, and that is 70,000. So it consists of a helically coiled bifimbriae with a central hole of 2 nanometer in diameter, and fimbriae may be involved in attachment whenever there is the infection. Then both flagella and pili originate from cell membrane, and they will be extend outward throughout the cell wall. Okay. So these all are the parts of the flagella. Like filament is there, flagellin, hook, basal body, and then pili. Up to here, any queries, any doubt, then you may ask now. Next is reproduction in bacteria. Bacteria multiply at a phenomenal rate by the process of fission or binary fission. So, as the cytoplasm and cell wall undergo division into two, the nuclear material is organized into a circular chromosome like structure which ultimately duplicates itself and gets distributed equally into two newly formed cells. Similarly, plasmids also duplicate and come into two daughter cells. The duplication occurs rapidly once every 20 minutes. So, as a result, a bacterium like E. coli starting from one bacterium may produce 1 million bacteria in 10 hours. Like only in 10 hours, bacteria those can produce 1 billion bacteria, but due to the competition, most of bacteria they will be die. However, this number is not reached because of gradual limitations of nutrients and toxic metabolites. Still, what is achieved normally is phenomenal. Such prolificacy in multiplication must be of great advantage both in survival of bacterial pathogen and also for successive plant infection. So basically bacteria those may reproduce or reproduction by three ways: recombination, conjugation, and transformation. Recombination, basically, the genetic recombination in bacteria has been noticed by the following sexual like process in which conjugation. Conjugation, basically there will be formation of a tube between two bacteria and by which they will be passed their genetic material. So this process is called conjugation. Conjugation occurs when two compatible bacteria come into contact and part of the chromosomal or non-chromosomal genetic material of one is transferred to the another and incorporated into the genome of later through conjugal zygote formation and breakage and reunion. So, it was first observed by Liederberg and Tatum in 1956 in E. coli. Conjugation, that means there will be the contact between two compatible bacteria, so they will becomes in the contact of each other and the part of their chromosomal or non-chromosomal genetic material, so the one which will be transferred to the other and they will be incorporate into the genome of later throughout their conjugal zygote formation and there will be breakage and then it will be reunion with the new one. And the conjugation firstly discovered by the Lederberg and Tatum in 1956 in E. coli. After that transformation, it occurs when the bacterium is of genetic material of another compatible bacterium secreted by or released in a culture during the rupture and its incorporation into the genome of the former. And it was first observed by Griffith in 1928 in Enterococcus pneumoniae. Transformation, like uh, basically there will be absorption of the genetic material of another compatible bacterium, or it will be secreted by or released in a culture during the rupture and its incorporation into the genome of the former. So it is called transformation. After that, transduction. So, when genetic material from one bacterium is carried by its phase that means virus, to another bacterium, that is visit next, and the later is genetically transformed. So, the transduction was first discovered by Ginder and Lederberg in 1952 in Salmonella. So basically, there are three types of method by which bacteria will be reproduced: mycoplasma and PPLO. Mycoplasma, earlier known as pleuropneumonia-like organisms, were discovered to be associated with the disease that is bovine pleuropneumonia and were described in one of the order Mycoplasmatans under Eubacteria. So mycoplasma represent a group of organisms that lack cell wall and contain a very small genome. Phylogenetically, they are closely related to Clostridia, the gram-positive bacteria. So, as per the requirement for their growth, they can be divided into those which, as per the requirement for their growth, they can be divided into those which require sterol, mycoplasma, and spiroplasma, and those which do not require sterols, ecoplasma, and thermoplasma. So basically, the bacteria, those are closely related to the Clostridia, the gram-positive bacteria. The mycoplasma cells are small, pleomorphic, of different shapes and divide by budding. The colonies of mycoplasma on agar exhibit a characteristics like fried egg appearance because of the formation of dense central core surrounded by lighter circular spreading area. So basically, the mycoplasma are pleomorphic. Pleomorphic, that means different shapes, and the mycoplasma, those will be divided by budding, and the colonies on the agar, it will be look like fried egg appearance. The growth of mycoplasma is not inhibited by penicillin or other antibiotics that inhibit cell wall synthesis, but they are sensitive to tetracycline. Sensitive to tetracycline, that means whenever we will treat with the tetracycline, then the growth of the mycoplasma, it will be inhibit, or we can suppress the growth of mycoplasma by given the treatment of tetracycline. The Spiroplasma genus is important plant pathogenically and has corkscrew-shaped cells. So they are motile and exhibit undulating or rotating movement. Spiroplasma citri has been associated with citrus plant where it causes citrus stubborn diseases and corn plants which cause the corn stunt. Then phytoplasma. Phytoplasma, they were earlier called mycoplasma-like organisms and were found to be associated with several yellows and witches broom diseases after their discovery, and that is by Doi et al. In 1967. So they are different from mycoplasma in the sense that they cannot be cultured on the synthetic media. The change in terminology from mycoplasma like organism to phytoplasma occurred since the studies of DNA homology in the highly conserved genes encoding ribosomal RNA and ribosomal protein. It shows that the phytoplasma comprise a coherent group distinct from other prokaryotes. Their closest relatives are in the genus that is Acolaplasma. So, as they have not been cultured on artificial medium in vitro and characterized apart from their host, they are referred to candidatus stratus. So, they are associated with about 200 plant diseases, including aster yellow, apple proliferation, peanut witch's broom, peach diseases, rice, yellow dwarf, and they are phloem inhibiting organisms and are graft transmissible in nature and can also be transmitted by leaf surface or by the leaf hoppers. So basically, there is the presence of phytoplasma in the plant cell. So here that is the cell wall of the plant and these colonies which are phytoplasma colonies and they will be looks like that. Thank you.